Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Wednesday morning to you all. I hope you guys are doing well out there this morning and having a great start to your Wednesday and a fantastic week out there so far. I know I'm feeling much better. I just want to say thank you all for all the thoughts, concerns, and more importantly, the prayers. They certainly kicked in, and I started feeling fantastic yesterday, back to my normal self just like that. And this morning I'm feeling the exact same. Was able to finally get a workout in this morning for the first time in about 5 or 6 days. So I'm definitely kickstarting my routine again. Was able to get up really early and just kind of get into my flow of things, which I'm really big on. My wife is feeling better. She still has some work to do, but she feels much better this morning compared to yesterday morning. So thank you for the prayers for her. And just thank you all for the amazing family type atmosphere on this channel. We look out for one another and pray for one another, and just thank y'all so much. Thanks for the prayers about the YouTube issue. You know, it is what it is. We're going to keep on rolling with this channel regardless. I'm going to continue to follow God's lead with what he has on this for me on this platform in my life, and I feel like he's given me this platform for a reason. We're going to keep on rocking and rolling regardless. I know there's going to be those hiccups, and it just is what it is. There's hiccups in life, and we just got to keep rolling regardless. But with that being said, let's be done with that. Let's talk about some weather. There is a few things to talk about, but as mentioned multiple times throughout the last couple of videos, there's nothing significant to really latch on to topic-wise in regards to the weather. I don't want to hype anything up that really isn't worth talking about a whole lot, but of course there is going to be things in our everyday weather that's going to impact us as we make our way throughout any given day. So we're going to talk about those things that I'm watching for today. We'll give you an update on the tropics, and then we'll get you guys on your way. If you do notice some slip-ups in this video, I'm still trying to get my flow back completely, but it will get much better in the videos to come. If you folks have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. If you guys got anything that I can pray about or pray over, as always, please put those in the comments below. So let's talk about these features on the water vapor loop that we see on our screen. You see all this white down here in the southeast over Florida. This indicates a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. We still got a lot of tropical moisture riding over Florida. This will continue to be the case again today. So I expect pretty much the entire state of Florida to see another chance of showers and storms. Pretty much anybody in the state of Florida. It probably will not be quite as widespread as yesterday, but we will definitely be seeing it again, at least a chance again today. It'll be pretty warm across the south central U.S. I'm not talking about widespread over 100 degrees, but well into the 90s. It'll certainly still feel like summer. And then we still got this pesky weak upper low that continues to swirl and just drift southeast very slow. It's cut off from the mainstream of things, from the main jets. So it's not really being carried or pushed quickly by any kind of weather feature out there. So sometimes these upper lows, especially stronger ones, which this is a weaker one, create their own weather, if you will. They can kind of create their own environment, which eventually creates its own weather. And this has been the case with this over the last few days. It will be the case with it again today. In fact, the severe weather threat has increased for today, and we do have a threat of severe weather across like western Kentucky, sections of extreme southern Illinois and Indiana, and we certainly need to watch out in this area today. Might could extend that a little bit further north into Indiana, but we are going to have some strong to severe storms in this area today because of this spinning upper low right into here. We're going to have more showers from this get thrown back into the upper Midwest and Great Lakes region. And then our folks up here in the Pacific Northwest are certainly being woken up by this system moving onshore into the western coastline of Washington State and Oregon right now. This is probably bringing some strong winds and some heavy rain into the region as I speak. So it's about, what time is it? It's a little after 4 o'clock in the morning. So it's definitely impacting your weather right now. I expect things to kind of simmer down out here in the Pacific Northwest throughout the day, but we're still going to be dealing with a lot of shower and storm activity even as we continue to go throughout our day up here in this region. So we get this back off our screen, we continue to roll, and you can actually see that system, see that spin. It looks pretty crazy, pretty cool actually on radar, but this is definitely delivering and packing a punch for our folks up here in Washington State and Oregon, definitely delivering some gusty winds associated with this line of showers and storms. even some extremely higher elevation snow. The snow levels are definitely not that low, but if you live pretty far up, if you happen to live high up in some of these higher mountain ranges and things like that, you're probably seeing some snow. But Seattle waking up to probably some gusty wind-driven rain, and definitely some showers out here. And then this upper low is already delivering some showers and storms down here in southern sections of Illinois, Indiana, and even northern sections of Illinois also, and then southern Wisconsin. As you can tell, you got rain moving this way and then rain moving that way. So you can tell there's some kind of spin out here in Illinois, and that is that weak upper low. And then we're getting a lot of tropical rains over Florida this morning. It's raining very heavily right off the coast of Fort Myers, or maybe by the time some of you folks are watching this video down here in this region, it's already raining very hard. Definitely a lot of rain in and around the Tampa Bay region and just off the coast of Miami. A lot of rain just off the coast of the Carolina coastline and Georgia coastline too. So that's what's actually falling right now. The Storm Prediction Center for today, there's that slight risk, level 2 out of 5, marginal risk, level 1 out of 5 surrounding it. So this is definitely going to be the area we watch for severe weather today. This does include Louisville, Evansville, almost down to Paducah, Kentucky, Bowling Green, Kentucky, and everybody in between right here in this region. Evansville, I think I've already mentioned that, but Evansville, Indiana, you guys will have a risk of severe weather. The tornado risk, very small, but it's there. A 2% risk of a tornado within 25 miles in a given location in this green area. The wind threat, 15% risk of winds exceeding 50 knots. That's 55 to 60 miles per hour within 25 miles in any given location in this yellow area. That's a 15% risk of that. Hail threat, 15% risk of hail. Sometimes these weak upper lows, they'll bring their own cold air aloft, and that'll be the case with this, which makes hail much easier. Basically, that allows hail to be obtained a lot easier in these cases. So there's a 15% risk of hail exceeding 1 inch in diameter or larger in this yellow area. This does include bigger cities like Louisville, Evansville, and all these regions in this yellow area. We will focus in on this region here in a second. I do want to mention this. Typically, I don't show this if there's not anything above a marginal risk, but I would not be surprised if this marginal risk in Florida gets upgraded to a slight risk sometime later today. We'll see what happens, but expecting more heavy downpours of rain down here in Florida today for sure. Watches and warnings, not a whole lot going on. There is flood watches in and around the Jacksonville area. Some dense fog advisories up here in northern portions of the country, but not a whole lot going on. But we'll see if these flood watches get extended maybe further west, north, or south in Florida today. But let's talk about the southeast, and we'll talk about all that rain that could fall in Florida today. We'll get this going this morning. Could deal with some showers. Probably not much in the way of storms. Could deal with some showers as far north as the low country of South Carolina, maybe Savannah, Georgia. Even some showers possible to the coastal regions of North Carolina. But a lot of this activity will remain in the state of Florida, and this will just kind of float in from the west and kind of drift from the west to the east across the peninsula of Florida pretty much. And we'll actually zoom into this region. Could get a more heavier, substantial push of heavy rain later tonight into the wee hours of the morning around the Miami area if the HRRR model is correct. But there's a lot of moisture right off the coast of the southeast. It kind of makes you wonder, is something going to try to get going? Well, nothing in the short term shows anything getting going with all this moisture, but we'll certainly still have to watch. But a closer look at Florida, we're looking at 11 a.m. Noon. Might get a little break around lunchtime today in Florida, but then as we're getting into the afternoon hours, it's around 5 p.m. A lot of shower and storm activity in southern areas of Florida. Northern areas of Florida. The HRRR model isn't going to be exactly right. I can tell you that. There definitely could be more widespread showers and storms in and around the Orlando area, Tampa Bay area than what this is showing. But as we are moving into the late evening hours around 10 p.m., it's still ongoing. And then we might get maybe a larger area of showers and storms into the Key West area, Florida Keys, Everglades, into the Miami region. So definitely be careful later tonight if you live in the southern tip of Florida. You guys could maybe get some flooding down here in this region, but definitely, the National Weather Service isn't too concerned about it. So we shouldn't be too concerned, but definitely a lot of rain could fall later tonight in South Florida. We'll watch for that. National Weather Service, as far as how much rain falls in this region, I mean, they're going for, like in the Florida Keys, 1 to 3 inches of rain. Along the east coast of Florida, anywhere from maybe a ½ inch to 1.5 inches, 2 inches of rain. Saying the west coast won't get as much today, but you still could get a lot of rain here in the coastal regions of the central panhandle of Florida region. And then we could get a lot of rain along the coastal regions of Georgia. Let's talk about the Northeast. It is chilly this morning. One of our coolest mornings we've seen in some time. There's definitely areas probably below freezing in these higher elevations. But it's definitely chilly, waking up to the upper 40s in Boston. If you go just outside of town, it's probably in the low 40s. If you get away from the coastal regions where there's probably a little bit of warm air off the ocean waters, even though the ocean waters really isn't that warm out here. In this case, the ocean sea surface temperature is probably warmer than the actual air temperature. So it actually helps to keep the immediate coastline a little bit warmer in these cases. It's the opposite when you get into spring, where sometimes these more inland areas are warmer, but the coastal areas are cooler from the wintertime temperatures, having the sea surface temperature so cool in these regions. But we're kind of rambling at this point. But I mean, it's chilly in New York City, Long Island, and definitely chilly in the interior areas of the New England region. You guys let me know what your temperature is in the Finger Lakes region. I know I got some people up here that view, some members of the channel from up here in Vermont. Definitely let me know what your temperatures are. I'll be very interested to hear about it. But it is a chilly start in the Northeast for sure. You can tell we're getting deeper into fall, that's for sure. But rain-wise today, not really anything to speak on. West Virginia, you guys will probably get some showers, some downpours that work in from west to east. So western sections of West Virginia, eastern Kentucky, you guys will see some shower and some downpour activity. As far as storms, I mean, you could get some rumbles of thunder, but I think this will be more so just some showers, maybe some downpours with this. But if you live in western areas of Ohio today, you guys could see some storms, severe storms. I mean, you can't rule it out for sure. But I think these will be lacking ingredients because you're a little bit away from that actual kind of that upper low, if you will, for severe weather. But you guys could definitely see some severe storms. Some storms in western Ohio today. I think they will weaken by the time they get into the eastern sections of the state. But you guys could definitely see some showers later this evening into the overnight hours. And then as we're getting into the wee hours of the morning, could get some storms. Watch out. If you live down here in southern Ohio, you guys could hear a rumble of thunder maybe into like the 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning range tomorrow morning. And then we're waking up tomorrow morning with maybe another round of showers making their way through western West Virginia, areas of Kentucky for sure. We'll wake up to a rainy morning for our Thursday morning. We go on and zoom into Kentucky with a severe weather threat today. And we'll start off this morning, and here it goes. There might be a little bit of a lull sometime this afternoon, but then the HRRR model says sometime this evening we could get some storms that begin to bubble up maybe in northern Kentucky. We got a storm right outside of Bowling Green down here. The HRRR model says this is going to fire up a little bit later this evening, maybe not so much this afternoon. So we got to see what actually unfolds with this. But, this is around 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m., some storms firing up here in southern and south central areas of Kentucky. We got some storm activity around the Evansville and outside the Evansville area, southern areas of Illinois. But this doesn't look too concerning until we get later tonight, where these showers and storms kind of develop maybe into a cluster, might produce some gusty winds. Definitely would have to watch out for an isolated tornado threat. But the HRRR model has these storms evolving really weird. It doesn't have much developing this afternoon. Maybe that's just because of the morning convection. But really doesn't form this into a decent line of storms until probably later tonight, until well after midnight. And we could be waking up to a line of storms tomorrow morning for our Thursday morning. The NAM, it is a little different. They always will differ a little bit. But we get into, this is around 6 p.m., show some nasty storms here in central Kentucky. But remember, our bigger tornado threats right here in this region in western Kentucky. It shows a lot of activity here, kind of around the Cincinnati to Louisville area, maybe up to Dayton, but definitely Lexington, Kentucky shows a lot of activity around later this evening. The NAM does, but don't sneeze. Come on. Okay, I think we're good. I think so. All right, yeah, we're good. All right, Evansville, I could tell you Evansville, both models show some storms around the area sometime later this afternoon to this evening into the overnight hours. And both models agree that we could get a cluster that gets going in Kentucky later tonight after midnight. But both models definitely disagree on what happens this afternoon. And I know you probably didn't take much out of this if you're viewing from Kentucky, but it's difficult to figure out. I would say confidence is low on what forms this afternoon. It's higher that storms will form the later you get into the night. I'll leave it at that. As far as that updraft Felicity swath, I mean, it doesn't indicate much rotation with these storms. But with just such a weak upper low, it's probably not going to indicate much. It does show some rotating updrafts later tonight up here in extreme northern Kentucky. But, not a whole lot of action as far as that tornado threat. In fact, it barely shows anything for that 2% risk area. But that's why we don't just look at models. The experts from the National Weather Service know more than what these models do. And, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a couple tornado warnings in this area today. So definitely be aware if you're in Western Kentucky. No outbreak by any means, but definitely a day where you're going to see some strong to severe storms, especially late afternoon onward. Today in the south central U.S., could get some showers and pop-up downpours in central to south central Texas. Louisiana can certainly see it. Most of the activity kind of will stay off the coastline here of Alabama and Mississippi. Could get some pop-up activity around the Lake Charles area. But I would say maybe like later this afternoon, early this evening, we could get some pop-up activity around San Antonio, Austin, Texas region. Maybe some action could kind of drift somewhere between Houston and Corpus Christi. But, it's going to be very isolated in nature. If you get some rain, definitely might play the lottery maybe later tonight if you play the lottery. I know I don't. But anyways, I'm not sure. I haven't even looked at your drought conditions lately down here in southern areas of Texas. I'm sure you guys will let me know, but I'm sure you will take all the rain you can get because I'm still betting that you're definitely making up for the lack of rain and the hot temperatures that you got this summer. But you guys could definitely see a little bit of rain down here for sure. Just not super widespread. Now up here in the north central U.S., we already talked about the severe weather threat. But on the northern side of this low where everything's kind of spinning the other way, this afternoon we're going to get some isolated downpours up here in Wisconsin. I would definitely say the southern to western half of Wisconsin could get some showers into the Green Bay area though too. I think most of the UP of Michigan will stay pretty dry today. But then areas of actual Michigan, like the Detroit area, could definitely see a kind of a showery day. Up here, Cleveland will definitely see some showers later this afternoon, this evening. I wouldn't say much in the way of any kind of storm activity, but some showers are certainly possible. And these showers could drift all the way into the Minneapolis area, maybe even see some kind of sprinkles or showers up here and all the way up to International Falls, Minneapolis. So International Falls, Minnesota. You can tell I'm still not on my A game, guys, but I'm getting there. One day at a time. But we'll continue to move this forward here. And maybe sometime into the wee hours of the morning, tomorrow morning, we could get some showers and some sprinkles up here in the eastern UP of Michigan. Now, the western U.S., we're dealing with that spin moving onshore right now. All the rain from this, the moisture from this will continue to move eastward across Washington State. This will move into northern Idaho, maybe eventually into extreme northwest areas of Montana. Most of the state of Montana will stay pretty dry today, but maybe later tonight here in northern areas of Montana, you guys could start to see a little bit of rain, heavy at times, maybe moderate to heavy, could make its way through the northern sections of Montana, kind of north central Montana, maybe eventually making it all the way into northeast sections of the state. And you'll continue just to deal with more rounds of showers. all the way through and into tomorrow morning. So you definitely, and it looks like another system's coming for tomorrow afternoon, right off the coast, well off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. So that's basically what could happen in these regions. I'll kind of go over this one more time. Here it comes, swings through the region, and then we take it all the way to tomorrow morning, and then that's tomorrow morning. So temperatures, it'll stay cool in the Carolinas today because of a little bit of cold air damming, cool air getting trapped east of the Appalachian Mountains. So you guys will actually be a nice fall-like day in the Carolinas, but unfortunately, once you get west of the Apps, it starts to warm up in Birmingham, Nashville, and even into the Mississippi Delta, Mississippi Valley. You guys are, feeling like summertime, unfortunately, well into the 90s in Arkansas, South Central U.S., including Oklahoma, well into the 90s. You get into Nebraska, Missouri, it starts to cool off a little bit into the Great Lakes region, more like fall weather, still maybe a tick above average up here for the areas of the north central U.S., but definitely still nice. A little bit cooler, just deals a pesky cloud cover into the southern New England region, just 50s for highs, but certainly not too bad of a day up here. Definitely just feeling like fall. If you're a big fall weather fan, then you're enjoying it up in the Northeast the last couple of days. Cooler in the Pacific Northwest, just due to all the showers and rain and cloud cover. But you get down to the Southwest region, it's pretty warm, hundreds. But definitely stick to your local people. The high plains are definitely cooler compared to maybe yesterday. But if we look and give an update on the tropics, I'll have to breeze through this really quick because I'm running low on time. But this is Tropical Storm Philippe, and this is what's likely behind it. And this little cluster right here going to be Rena, our next named storm. Tropical Storm Philippe is expected to weaken into a depression. Rena, soon to be Rena. I don't need to call it Rena yet. We don't know what it's going to do quite yet, but most models indicate that this is going to go out to sea or either maybe struggle to form altogether. But this is Philippe, 45-mile-per-hour tropical storm. Not much of a factor out there. The latest cone, well, let's say this too. This has a 90%. It's Invest 91L. This has a 90% chance to develop within the next 48 hours. So this could become a depression or tropical storm Rena, maybe sometime today. Maybe sometime just over the next 2 days. We'll certainly watch it. But stay tuned for tonight. I should have a little bit better energy, and I'm going to give you a full update on the tropics for anybody interested or concerned. But this is the latest cone from Philippe. It could bring some unsettled weather to Puerto Rico, the northern Leeward Islands, but as of now, it's not going to be anything too crazy. I wouldn't worry if you're in Puerto Rico. Just maybe some gusty winds, maybe some showers, some downpours. But the cone has shifted into your area, but as a basically a post-depression, post-tropical depression, if that makes any sense. So this will be a weak system, like basically a tropical wave moving over your area. And here it comes. It'll weaken. There it is. There's Philippe kind of moving in just as a weak system. And then the GFS wants to go all out with what would be Rena and then turning out to sea, becoming a pretty significant hurricane, but not bothering anybody. Now, the Euro doesn't like to develop Invest 91L, which could be Rena. It really doesn't develop it much at all. So we'll try to have this more put together this evening and get you a better flowed video. But thank y'all for the prayers. I'm feeling much better. Just got to get my flow back. And hopefully we can pump out some consistent and great flowed content in the coming videos. God bless all y'all. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.